These are some of the common materials that were utilized by people making Haskett and other early Western stem projectile points in the Far West and Great Basin. Some of these are obsidian, and obsidian was commonly used, although it does seem to be that, relatively speaking, compared to or contrasted with other cultures, archaic and so on, it seems to be that people in the Western stem period and Paleo period in general preferred igneous stones that weren't quite obsidian or a little grainier obsidian. Dacite, for example, is a common material that was used, and they were also using kind of grainier obsidians like this. And I would say that that's probably because these materials are a little stronger than obsidian and are a little more resistant to breaking. And they knap just about the same. These are all really good pieces from Ken. Thank you, Ken. And they work really well. Actually, sorry, a couple of these are from Ken, but some of these are also from my own collecting. This is from Owens Valley, and that's just really cool material. Big little paleo point right there. So yeah, this is the big piece that I'm gonna make a Haskett out of today, hopefully. And it's really oddly shaped. I'm gonna try and preserve that length there and knock this area off here. So yeah. The longest section in this piece is right here on this flat side. So what I want to do is try and get spalls off of this triangular shape side and try and knock this area down here. So this is the biggest hammerstone I could find in my yard. It's kind of split, but it should work. Try and get some spalls here. Gotta be really careful doing this, but these are great spalls. I mean, that in itself will make a Haskett or another Western stem point, but in this case I'm talking about Hasketts. It tends to be that they tried to get the most length out of the rocks that they could, just like agate basins and other projectile points, because why not? The more usage you get out of it. So that one kind of wrapped around. There's another spall. That was bad. My hammerstone's not. That's what we wanted, but it broke. But it went all the way, but it broke. The other half's down. Kind of. Good spall there. Just trying to get rid of this area. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Oh, it looks like it did detach earlier. Interesting. Well, let's just test this cortex over here and see if it's good. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a, you can see it there. There's a small crack there, like I said. This hammerstone's about to split in half. It wasn't as deep as I thought. That's the flake I was looking for. So I wanted it to go up and around. You can see here. Where's this guy? So we're getting this down. I'm just going to take a couple more flakes off of this little overhanging area here. Perfect. It wrapped a little bit, but it doesn't matter because it's going to be a Haskett. I'm trying to thin down to that. Hammerstone's breaking now. Yeah, you can see I've started to zigzag that square edge. Don't want to hit too high on that because I can risk creating a big deep bulb flake in there. Is that a platform right there? Not really. Okay, cool. So anyway, I'm going to zigzag that and then build this up and then get it to a stage where I'll probably be doing smaller hammerstone work on it, but it'll be a big bodied thing the next time you see it probably. All right, we got we had some issues with the tip. There was a crack on that side, and then on this side I had a flake that, oh, cat fight. It was a, oh god, it was a little lower, and so I had another flake come down. We still have a little bit of square edge. I started zigzagging it up here a little bit, and this is just hammerstone work, kind of just random chipping around. Not very organized, but it'll get really organized once I start getting that, getting closer to finishing it. Okay, this is where I'm gonna stop for today. It's always a good idea if you're making something really nice to take a little bit of time, maybe take it inside, do something else, and come back a while and every once in a while and look at it. And that allows you to maintain interest in what you're working on. I preferably, unless it's something that's really simple, I like to just take a little break, and it allows me to see certain areas that are problem areas and stay focused. So this is all direct percussion with this piece of elk and hammerstone, and I would say it's probably about 9 inches right here. And yeah, it's going well. There's still some balance issues. You can see we got to remove some flakes in here, and then this is where the base is going to be, and we've got a little square edge still there. I'll zoom in here, and then we also have a big hinge right here, but this is stuff that we'll mostly be able to get out most likely with our punch. When you start using the punch, you can get this whole area really nice and clean. You can just control it a lot better, and I really think that that's what they're doing on these. Okay, cool. All right, bye-bye. Alright, so I've been punching with this guy. I just started punching, and I already cut myself. You can see here. I was just on a little flake that popped off. But this is a really important step because we've just transitioned from hammerstone work and direct percussion to indirect. And in this stage, I'm really focusing on getting those steep flakes you can see here. And this is where you get that center line look. And you can already see I've done a little more punching on this side than I have on the other side. But you can see in this stage I'm focusing on getting these to create a nice balance. And then I'm also working on straightening out the piece and fixing up little areas like this right here. Square edge and such. And getting underneath hinges and cracks and stuff. See, I'll get a punch flake about right there. Clean up that area. And you can see it's kind of flat over in here. So I'm going to turn this edge a little bit and get about 3 punch flakes right there. Another important step is to space them evenly, because you can use these deltas and stuff to your advantage later when you need more ridges to run. And so this is going to be the tip up here. It's tapered a little more than the base down here. This is a little bit narrower and thicker down here. And so yeah, so where we just left off was probably the stage that is, for me at least, the most difficult. I'd consider myself an intermediate flint knapper, and so I have trouble with direct percussion and creating contour and stuff. But once you get it into, or at least for me, once I get it into this stage where I'm doing vertical punch work, which I'll film a little bit later. The only reason I'm not filming this entire process is because no one realistically is going to watch for an entire hour of me flint knapping. So yeah, it's gonna be I'll put it back on the tripod in a bit when I get this down more. Still lots of width to lose, but as we lose that width and we're punching, it's good to use that width to focus on getting that really nice balance. You can see this edge down here is a little lower, this is a little higher up here, so we'll take some punch flakes over here, and so on and so forth. So yeah, stay tuned. Oh, by the way, this is also a little punch that I made recently. You can see I'm punching off this end right here. It's good to have them kind of flat. I'll zoom in a little bit. You don't want them too flat, but it's good to have a little bit of a flat tip on there. You can see that those are punching off right there. If it's too pointed, then you're not going to catch it all. You can see all that area creates a lot of friction and grab. That's what you want. So that's what's working for me right now. And then when it gets smaller, I'll use a smaller punch. And I suspect that on a lot of those old Haskets, like the one found in Utah at the Wishbone site in Utah, that one is really well punched, and the punch flakes are very well controlled. So they're probably using a very small punch, maybe bone or antler, who knows. All right. As we get closer to where we want the tip to be, I change the angle from really high up to more inward. So for you, that would look like that. Because I want these flakes to flatten out and go a little further. If I'm working on the body, I want it tilted up so they don't go as far. So right here is kind of in between the body and the tip. My punch is getting a little bit worn out. There we go. So it's still it's a little bit flatter. You don't want to be doing this punching on later stage. Even now, I feel anxiety when I'm hanging it off my leg like that and punching on the ends here. I think in the past it probably would have. That's what we want. We want flakes that go like that. I think in the past you probably could have had a buddy hanging on to the end of it just to hold it in place so it doesn't snap. But that's a risk that I'm gonna take without having someone hold it. If I were to knapping, I would have someone hold it. That's the type of flake I'm looking for. Anyway, I'm gonna keep punching this, and then I'll get down to when it's becoming finished. Just showing you what stage I'm at or not. Whew. See, I did a lip flake, grabbed a little bit more. Here, you know what? I'm gonna finish this up and then I'll stop. Okay, here's the Haskett. Nice taper on the tip there. All kinds of noises today, apparently. And it's ground all the way up to here. I had a theory that maybe these were actually kind of a dagger kind of thing, like you would just grind that entire area and you can use this area up top for butchering. So maybe the blood proteins that we found on that one in Utah is actually just from butchering, but I think they were probably projectiles just because there's impact fracture and they come in lots of lengths. But just as we've seen with so many other projectile points that were used in North America, they were mostly both served as projectiles and knives. So it's possible that you work this down, use it as a knife, you grind the base so you can hold it, don't cut yourself, and then work it down. There that is. Big Haskett. It's not really translucent. But anyway, here's some other Haskets I've made recently. This one I really like. It was also done with that smaller punch that I was using. This is Glass Buttes obsidian, so fits the material. Nice ridge there. Taper on the tip. Ground up the side. pretty cool. These are pretty old too. And a lot of this point style is contemporaneous with Clovis, so it's pretty cool. This one is not as well made, but I think even if you're lucky enough to find one of these, it's more than likely going to be something more like this and not those really long ones. Here comes the cat. Tunya. Coming? Squirrel? Big bad Petunia. Yeah, so this is one that I made, which is pretty cool. I like it. That one's all punch work. And here's another cool one. This one's cool. And this one's got nice taper and everything. The balance isn't as good. It's all punch work. I did the tip punching. Punch the tip in there. I think that's I don't know, glass beads obsidian. Another small one. Made this a long time ago. That one's got some pressure flaking on it. This one's all punch work. And Western stem paleo kind of thing. This is actually more of like a, I don't even know, but these are found also in Oregon, California, Nevada, and it's probably just a worn out Haskett variant or something. They found camel protein on one that was just like this in Nevada. So that's pretty cool. This is one that I did a while ago, and the tip actually broke off when I brought it inside because it's got all these phenocrysts in it. That's all hammerstone. Kind of a Cougar Mountain kind of thing. This is another Haskett. Punch work. You can try and make these. I think it's a good idea to work with smaller pieces like that and just to learn how to get, oh, these are different, but get that punch work down. This is a Clovis I just made today. Wannabe rainbow obsidian. And then this is a northern side notch that I filmed making on Instagram but I never really showed. Some of those northerns are very, very eccentric and well made. These are punch notched, and most of the working on this is direct percussion. There's one big pressure flake that went across there that was not what I was looking for, but it's okay. So yeah, Western stuff, early Western stuff, but this is what we made.